Sure. Yeah. Are we ready? Yeah.
Ready.
Good morning, everyone. Class of 2024 is right around the corner, so if I can please have you stand to welcome our graduating class of 2024.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 64th commencement exercises of the Woodside Priory School. What a special day to celebrate our students. Please remain standing for the invocation. The prayer will be pronounced by our Director of Campus Ministry, Mr. Kyle Lyric.
When my wife and I got to the altar on the day of our wedding, the presider asked us to take a moment of silence to look out into the eyes of all those who were gathered to celebrate, support, and love us on that day. So, I'm going to ask the graduates to do that now. Look out and make eye contact with members of a community who see you, know you, and love you. We believe in a God who is love. So as we encounter love here today, we are encountering God. Let's all take a moment to close our eyes, quiet our minds, and open our hearts. Take a deep breath in and consider something or someone for which you are grateful right now. Hold the breath for a moment and then exhale, sharing that gratitude with our world. Let's pray together. God of all that is magnificent, we stand before you and the you we encounter in each other today with light in our eyes, wonder in our minds, and gratitude in our hearts. Send your connecting spirit of love through this community as we witness our children, our students, and our future stepping boldly out into a world that will be made better because they are a part of it. We do all of this here today in the name of love. Amen. Amen. Saint Benedict and Saint Scholastica, pray for us.
I'm a little short. Thank you, Mr. Lyric. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to call upon Mr. Patrick Ruff to deliver the head of school's welcome.
That's nice. Thank you. Thank you. Well, good morning, and thank you for celebrating with us today. I'd like to welcome our Board of Trustees, the monastic community, our honored guests, members of our faculty and staff, parents, family, friends, and of course, the class of 2024 to this, our 64th commencement exercises. We've got a good crowd today. I like it. I like it. As we begin, I want to, in a very special way, acknowledge the support that really helped our soon-to-be graduates along the way. To all the family and friends with us today, and to those who unfortunately could not be here in person and perhaps are streaming this ceremony or thinking of the graduates as they celebrate this moment, we say thank you. Thank you for the encouragement that you have offered, the sacrifices you have made, and most importantly, the love you have shown to these extraordinary people. We are so grateful for all you've done, and we very much appreciate the impact you have made in their lives, but also on Priory. Now, I also wish to offer my gratitude to our faculty and staff for their exceptional efforts in making this year and this day a reality. You know, Father Martin and Mr. Tang said last night, they reminded us that 4 years ago, this class started obviously in the pandemic, and our faculty, they taught online or even at night to accommodate our students from other countries. They adapted, they adjusted, they shifted everything. Their efforts were nothing short of heroic, and we have all benefited from their dedication and generosity. So please join me in thanking them for their extraordinary work these past 4 years. But today, we are really here to honor the class of 2024. Now, every commencement marks a change. We celebrate the close of 4 years, and then we recognize a new beginning. Soon to be graduates, you will leave the familiar, and you're invited to something new. New roles, new responsibilities, and new relationships. Next year, you will no longer see these same friends every day. You will not have the same structure or routine. You will not hurry to class from the senior parking lot. You will not linger in the dining hall after breakfast. And a bell will no longer call you to chapel on Thursday mornings. Your relationship with Priory will change, but it will not end. There will be an end to your physical presence here on Portola Road, but certainly not an absence. Priory and our values will continue to work in you and through you. And just as Priory will always be part of you, you will continue to impact Priory, because the experiences you have shared in this community will impact the choices that you will make for a lifetime. The relationship changes, but it does not end. Today is about the mission that's been entrusted to you. It's not about leaving, but it's about engagement. Rather than signifying an end, this is the beginning. It's a commencement. It's a call to action to live the values and experiences that you have soaked up in this community. So, welcome to this new beginning. Welcome to this commencement, the commencement exercises for the class of 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Ruff. We will now begin with the Class Valedictorian Award. The honor of valedictorian is awarded to one outstanding member of the graduating class. The valedictorian is awarded to the student who has earned the highest GPA in their class and has attended Woodside Priory for at least 3 years. This year's valedictorian leads with every kind of intelligence. She is well known on campus as an academic powerhouse with a growth mindset in math, science, literature, and social science. Profoundly reflective and empathetic, this student always pays attention to those around her, whether she is tutoring a student in math, volunteering at a blood bank, or leading the Limitless Foodie Club. She is keenly attuned to the needs of others. This year's valedictorian approaches all she does with a sense of humility while upholding Priory's values of integrity and hospitality. I am honored to announce our class of 2024 valedictorian, Sophia Chen. Each year, a member of the graduating class is selected to deliver an address at the commencement exercises. Our student speaker is someone who is deeply admired by our school community as an impressive critical thinker with a creative mind and quick wit. He takes intellectual risks guided by his own curiosity. Authentic and unassuming, he can be pushed to think harder and imagine differently while maintaining a deeply rooted sense of self. As an admissions ambassador, member of the Priory tennis and golf teams, and member of Priory's advisory for the design of our new community athletic center coming soon, he approaches all he does with the care and precision of an architect. In his 7 years at Priory, he has contributed his intelligence, kindness, and keen eye to our classrooms and community. I am extremely proud to announce our 2024 graduation speaker, William Robert Day.
This thing is a nuisance anyways, so we'll be better off without it. It's a Harvard tradition anyways. Thank you, Miss Cortez, for the incredibly kind introduction, and many thanks to everyone who has helped me write and practice this speech. We will see if it works. I am immensely grateful to have the honor to speak here today. I have always thought graduations and the onslaught of speeches that follow are far too long. And the reading of the names, sometimes a bit painful, and many times quite boring. And so with that said, I appreciate you taking the time to hear my ChatGPT-generated yarn about the Woodside Priory class of 2024. I'm just kidding, English department, don't worry. In the year 2020, fruit had never been such a mysterious entity to me. But daily, as the box lunch was distributed to every isolated pot of students, we would glance with excitement at the small corner of fruit in the paper takeout box, never quite knowing what to expect. There were lots of unanticipated moments coming off a year of rolling out of bed and walking a few steps to class. Yet each day's new cup of cubed cantaloupe always elicited a guessing game amongst our newfound advisory group. It was these micro moments of excitement and connection that we sorely missed, even if over mid-fruit, that began to form our class bond. Perhaps it was because we were so desperate for communication and contact after being at home for so long, but we were ready to embrace the mystery of in-person learning, or as they refer to it now, school. Even outside lunch, we began to connect, refreshingly, not just over fruit. Thankfully, I was not ostracized for my irritating rants about design. Instead, I was accepted and loved for them. Phew. I have never worked harder in my life for only 20 points than world history sophomore year. The assignment was a debate, which resulted in me spending hours upon hours on the phone nightly for a week with new people. I was working 24/7 to draft resolutions during this mock Congress to improve the position of my assigned nation. At this moment, I could care less about 20 points. But what I gained was perhaps, no, not perhaps, certainly more valuable. I gained a shared experience where I spent time working and conversing with people I may not have known as well, but do now. This is a perfect example of a very Priory experience. Learning a lot of material, but gaining skills in communication, critical thinking, and perhaps a bit of collusion. Junior year was not just challenging for its surprise transitions, but the harder course load that we pushed ourselves with. Moments of reflection in chapel helped break up the constant load of coursework, giving a much-needed breath to our torturously busy schedule. Listening to the stories of seniors that had gone through the looming college application rat race, and the reflections of an uncertain young adult life shared by our faculty, gave us perspective on our anxieties about the future. These stories shared in chapel enabled us to reflect and debunk our narrow, perfectionist, Silicon Valley-generated way of thinking. We learned that it is not about what you do at your destination, but what you do along the journey. These heartfelt narratives reminded us to slow down, balance our lives, and have a mindset of self-love when writing the next chapter in our own life. Sitting around the bonfire under the inky black sky, listening to the pounding surf of the mighty Pacific coast late junior year, I was struck for the first time how far we had come from our boxed lunch groups. Here we all were, belting Sugar by Maroon 5 at Ocean Beach, which had now become the unofficial anthem of our grade. We played fiercely competitive games of spikeball and beach football, regrettably leaving me with the Sahara Desert's worth of sand in my shoes for days on end. Nonetheless, that night will be one I will never forget, where a bunch of unique individuals were thriving together as a cohesive community. Under the stars, which were non-existent through the San Francisco fog, I had one thought: gratitude. Gratitude for how positive the last 3 years had been, and how lucky I was to be part of such a kind, spirited hodgepodge of individuals. We had come so far from that first cantaloupe in our pandemic-era lunch groups. We had now amassed a whole Costco's walk-in fridge worth of experiences together. And just like the crashing breakers on Ocean Beach, senior year suddenly hit our shores. We had made it to our final year at the Priory. And as Priory tradition dictates, we all gathered to watch the magnificent California sunrise to celebrate this momentous milestone. With one caveat: the sunrise. There was no sunrise. The sun remained behind a steely gray swath of clouds that had poured in over the western hills as if to mock us all for waking up before dawn, which firmly contradicts the code of teenagers. Our class this time skywatching quite poorly. First semester senior year, we worked often with one another in the homey upstairs landing lounge of Father Christopher room. This sanctuary space had become an extension of the college counseling office, where we would sit together, reading our college essay drafts aloud, proffering suggestions to enhance each other's writing. We spent many lunches griping about the intolerably minuscule or the exorbitantly large word counts of the many essays we had to write. While this process was full of peaks and valleys, time blessedly kept moving, and we made it through altogether, if for a few 12th-hour breakdowns. If not for the support of my classmates, I absolutely would have crumbled faster than the Snack Bin's Nature Valley granola bars. Well, bar might not be the right word, perhaps bagged granola. But when the weight of those busy moments was lifted, we did not just revert back to our longtime close friends. We held on to those new relationships. Come senior spring, we were far more dedicated to each other than ever before. And to the chagrin of our teachers, perhaps a bit less dedicated to our coursework. We saw each other more on the weekends, aided by most people except me having a driver's license. Our class leaders helped to plan fantastically intense grade activities, such as Senior Assassin, in which I epically failed to eliminate my opponent, even when he was at my house. I have never felt more at home with a group of 67 than I did during my senior retreat, where we cried, sung, prayed, and laughed till we couldn't breathe anymore. We have been formed by each conversation in passing, each class we have taken, each long night of studying together, and each prayer we have shared. We are all dispersing across the country and globe, yes, but we are still just all a text away. And as we develop the important adulting skill of email, we can harness it to reach out to the Priory network we have cultivated, as well as finding that next mentor to help us along the road. Priory has given us the skills to be ourselves, to work hard, to think critically, to seek balance, to self-love, to live with gratitude, and to build a community like no other. And as we all sat in our final grade candle ceremony just days ago, an annual tradition where each class member holds our grade's candle and can offer a personal reflection, we saw each other vulnerably sharing stories which fully embodied all of the skills and lessons that Priory has given to us. In that moment, we all felt the impact of our time here and how it has made us the most honest and loving versions of ourselves. Congratulations. You have made it to the end of the speech, everyone. And to the class of 2024, congratulations. We have made it to the end of high school. We have won some and lost countless times. We have achieved great heights and we have fallen on our faces. But because of these experiences, and because of each and every one of you, we are ready to face the inevitably awkward start to college in our futures and all of the other uncertain beginnings that lay ahead. We have made it to this milestone because of the people of Priory, and most importantly, because of each other. If anything, the class of 2024 truly knows how to always begin again. We have the skills to find balance, live with love for one another and ourselves, and build a lasting community even in the strangest and most random assigned lunch groups. And remember, if you are ever at a loss for a conversation starter, you could always make a profound comment about the dicing of a watermelon in your cafeteria's fruit salad. Thank you.
That's going to be really hard to follow. Thank you, William, for that beautiful reflection. After consultation with the faculty, the head of upper school in collaboration with the head of school, bestows the honor of salutatorian upon a member of the graduating class who has been at the Priory for at least 2 years, has earned the second highest GPA, and has made significant academic, athletic, artistic, social, and/or personal contributions to the school community. This year's salutatorian is an incredible critical thinker, leader, and human being. He invests his time in the process of learning and views challenges as opportunities for growth. He asks thought-provoking questions and isn't wounded by harsh critique. Instead, he leans in and finds ways to improve. He has served as a class representative, captain of our baseball team and basketball team, and earned First Team All-League Award for his contributions to the Priory football team. This year's recipient has a sophisticated intellect, sees learning opportunities everywhere, and can see the gray area when others can't. We know that this year's recipient will use his gifts to better the greater good of his college community and the world at large. I am proud to announce this year's salutatorian, Shangjun Matthew Lee. It is my pleasure to call upon Mr. Ruff to introduce our commencement speaker.
I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our commencement speaker, Cassie Priory, from the great class of 2002. Now, as you all know, Priory is a school where we really encourage students to be involved, to not limit themselves. We know that our values come to life through a wide range of experiences we offer, and Cassie certainly is an example of that. Now, Cassie came to Priory in middle school and was involved in every one of the athletics that we offered. But with some height, but very little experience, she was invited to join the volleyball team. Now, she wanted to do that, but she still wanted to do all the other sports, and so she agreed. And it's through hard work and excellent coaching that she eventually became a 4-year member of our volleyball team, a team that went on to win the state, who went on to the state championship twice, taking the title in 2000. Still our school's only state title. Twice she was named the state most valuable player, and more importantly, twice she earned the state sportsmanship award. Now, Cassie was recruited to play Division I volleyball at Santa Clara, a top 25 team, and was a 4-year starter. Throughout her career, she garnered several accolades, including 3-time All-West Coast Conference honors and the WCC Player of the Year. In her senior year, she helped the Broncos to their first ever NCAA Final Four appearance and a number 3 final national ranking. She was also awarded First Team All-America an honor given to the top 12 players in the country. Additionally, she was named the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame Female Athlete of the Year in 2006. Now, we retired her jersey and inducted her into our Athletic Hall of Fame twice. I thought you could only do that once, but we did it twice. Individually, obviously, as part of our inaugural Hall of Fame class, and again as a member of that 2000 state championship winning team. Now, Cassie eventually went on to pursue her doctorate in clinical psychology, showing her wide range of ability. And she served as a faculty member at both the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at Stanford University School of Medicine and Palo Alto University. She currently works as a licensed psychologist, but most importantly, she and her husband have 2 young boys already preparing for Priory. I'm thrilled to introduce Cassie Priory.
I'm looking around right now because the speech that I wrote is for the graduates, but I unfortunately cannot see you very well. So I will probably be facing forward because my neck kinks a little easily these days, but I will be thinking of you the entire time. So good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today, and it is my great honor to be delivering this year's commencement speech. First, I'd like to extend a thank you to Patrick and the school for inviting me to speak. And in a truly Herculean feat, to our babysitter for watching our 2 toddlers who have entered the no phase at the same time. Importantly, I'd like to extend my biggest and most heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2024 and all their families. The grind through high school is just like no other. Years of heavy coursework and tests, navigating who you are, relationships, the uncertainty of what you're doing and if it's enough. Graduating from high school, especially a rigorous one like Woodside Priory, is a major life accomplishment and one that has set you up well for what's to come. And I've learned a bit about your class. You're not only remarkable with great breadth in personalities and interests, including being an amateur clown, teaching self-defense, and most recently, becoming an Iron Man. Your class has also demonstrated incredible resiliency, especially after navigating 4 years of high school through the COVID-19 pandemic. It is such an honor for me that I get to speak at your graduation. I've thought about all the experiences I've had since sitting where you are and what I've learned behind the scenes. And so I wanted to try and distill some of those into a few nuggets of wisdom I wish I had known when I was a graduating senior. I also acknowledge that commencement speeches can often be full of platitudes. And so my hope is that I can be a bit more candid and vulnerable, and that a few points of what I share can resonate and leave you with a sense of hope. So my first nugget is that much of success, and really much of life, is the combination of hard work, of what's in your control, and luck, both good and bad. Luck was on my side when I found 2 loves of my life at Priory. And no, my husband did not go here. He is a loud New Jersey transplant I met 8 years ago on a dating app. The loves I'm referring to are volleyball and psychology. Psychology was a passion that I realized a bit later on, but one that I can definitely tie back to my experiences here at Priory. When I was sitting here 22 years ago, I probably would have only said that volleyball was my life passion. So in thinking about luck versus control in my life, I was lucky to have found a sport that I just became completely infatuated with. I was lucky that I happened to be born with the genetic traits conducive to being a good volleyball player. I mean, after all, one can spend hours training in the gym, but one cannot will themselves to grow 5 inches taller. I was lucky that in the 2000 state championship match, the ball that I hit to win the point and the title, and I'm just going to pause for a second because I know this is being recorded and I'm a product of 2 lawyers, so I'm going to use my words wisely. The ball that I hit may have been going out of bounds on its own. But the referee concluded that the other team touched it and awarded us the point. And in graduate school, when it came time to interview at my top choice residency, I was lucky that a classmate of mine proactively warned me ahead of time about how interpersonally unnerving one interviewer would be. So I wasn't totally thrown off when he unexpectedly asked, "Which Seinfeld character do you identify most with and why?" I matched there a month later. Of course, not everything is attributed to luck. I wasn't naturally good at volleyball. In fact, I was actually cut from my 7th grade volleyball team mid-season, and I spent my freshman season at Priory on the bench. But I grinded through days and hours and weekends in the gym. In graduate school, while many of my friends were traveling and getting married and starting families, I was spending endless hours studying for my doctoral exams, seeing patients, and writing my dissertation. I spent 9 months preparing for my residency applications and interviews, but not for the Seinfeld question. I worked extremely hard at what I could that was in my control in an effort to be exceptional. I share all this because so often, when we face adversity, we'll ask, why did this happen? In an effort to try and learn from the situation and problem solve for the next time. And this is where my second nugget comes in. Asking why something bad happened can be adaptive and helpful, unless we find ourselves asking, what does it mean about me that this happened? Over time, this can lead to something that we call a fixed mindset, where we make assumptions and labels about ourselves that imply that we can't change. And then we often don't, because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is something I have personal experience with. When I was in high school, I didn't view myself as particularly smart. When I wouldn't do well on a test, I'd compare myself to my peers and say, well, they all did well, but I didn't. So what does this mean about me? It means I'm not smart, and the cycle would continue. Instead of asking, what does this mean about me, it can be far more adaptive to objectively look at the context around you, including what is and is not in your control, and then to compassionately acknowledge the costs and gains from decisions made. After all, and those of us perfectionists out there may not like to hear this, but every decision we make involves some kind of loss. And once you can accept that cost or that loss, you can then problem solve what you do next time. So for example, I can now look back and realize that if I hadn't done well on, let's say, like a math exam, it wasn't because I was bad at math. I could have aced that exam if I was willing to put in the time like I had for other interests, like volleyball. But what would have been the cost? I wouldn't have been able to study other subjects as well, or I would have neglected my other interests. I now know not to label myself as incapable, but rather unwilling to spend the energy when I have other strengths I'd rather pursue. And knowing where to spend energy and hard work can be informed by an internal sense of values, or what you find meaningful and impactful in your life. And this leads me to my final nugget, the importance of finding what you're excited about, whether it's a hobby, an intellectual interest, or even something as granular as a personal value, and to use that as your North Star in life, especially in moments you feel stuck. And this brings me back to my other first love. My junior year at Priory, I read William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury, which sparked an interest in learning about different perspectives, and then I fell in love with my psychology course. I started at Santa Clara University, declared a psych major, and intent on becoming a clinical psychologist. However, I struggled hard my winter quarter freshman year. I was unable to balance my coursework as a student athlete and with what felt like months of illness. And I ended up with a 1.9 GPA. You can imagine what this did to my fixed mindset. I met with my academic advisor and he asked, what are you doing? What do you want at the end of all this? And I said, I want to become a psychologist. And he shook his head and he said, no, you will never get into a PhD program with grades like this. You should consider something else. And I was devastated. Looking back, I don't necessarily blame him. After all, doctoral programs are very competitive, and my freshman grades were poor. But I took this conversation as meaning that I wasn't capable of pursuing psychology, when I would have benefited from looking at the greater context of what was going on for me at that time. So tasked with anxiety about finding another major, I thought about what else I enjoyed, and my interest in writing resurfaced. As a kid, I had loved writing, but I was told that you can't make money as a writer. Not my words. Nonetheless, I decided to take on journalism and found that I fundamentally enjoyed it, which made it more motivating to study. And as I did well in journalism, that motivation spread into other courses, and for the first time in my life, I flourished across the board academically, including making the dean's list. Appreciating that passion also led me to pursue other related activities. I accepted an offer to work for a professor's literary publication, and I became the sports copy editor for the school newspaper. When the time came approaching graduation to figure out what to do, I leaned on my values again. I had the opportunity to pursue a professional volleyball career abroad with offers to play in Russia and Spain, but I chose to retire. I realized the lifestyle of a professional athlete didn't align with my personality or my values, and I knew my body could only be in this shape for so long, and then what would I do? Looking back, I realized how important it was that I pursued other interests in addition to my passion for volleyball. It prevented something in our field that we call identity foreclosure, which is a commitment to one identity and unquestioning acceptance of the roles, values, and goals that others impose on them. Think of it as putting all your eggs in one basket. If it's your sole focus, you'll do everything in your power to be the best at it. But if the basket drops, for example, if you get a career-ending injury or you never get into medical school, it can lead to deep feelings of loss and emptiness. So the harsh reality set by my academic advisor inspired me to find other passions, which then made it easy for me to listen to my own judgment of what I truly wanted and not pursue what I felt I otherwise was supposed to as a high-performance athlete. That same focus on values is what landed me back in the field of psychology. I'd been working at Google in advertising sales for a couple of years post-college when I started to feel that familiar sense of panic as I realized the job was just not right for me. I thought about what I loved about it, other than the great Google perks like free food and heated toilet seats. And I thought about helping people, building relationships, problem solving, analyzing data, and psychology came back into focus. I then spent the next 2 years volunteering at a crisis hotline, pursuing post-baccalaureate classes in psychology, and I took a 3-month sabbatical from Google to study for the GRE, which is like the graduate school equivalent of the SAT. And then I ultimately got into a great doctoral program affiliated with Stanford. So for me, recognizing my values and living a life aligned with them has now led to what I consider to be a very meaningful career in life, in addition to my kids. One last thing that I'll leave you with is that volleyball is often what I'm known for, and it may be what I'm remembered for, but volleyball is not who I am. If I hadn't pursued my true interests, I may have succumbed to the idea that volleyball is the only thing that I had value for. Each and every one of you have interests and passions and skills, but those also don't define who you are. You are more than what you do and what you achieve. So I want to end by asking that each and every one of you imagine that 20 years from now, you will be standing up here addressing the graduating class. And I can understand if that sounds far-fetched. I wouldn't have dreamed of this 22 years ago. But I want you to imagine it for yourself, because I know that each of you has gifts and talents, whether expressed yet or not, that future generations will benefit from. And you may even be talking about experiences that would totally surprise your current 18-year-old self. So I hope you go out and pursue your passions and be exceptional. Just keep in mind that hard work and luck contribute to success, to not personalize setbacks, and to consider your values when you feel stuck. Thank you.
We have a few awards next. Thank you, Cassie. That was a meaningful and inspiring message. one that I hope our graduates will hold close to their hearts. We will now continue with the Dean of Students Award, which was established to recognize the member of the graduating class who has consistently demonstrated an exceptionally high degree of service and leadership to the Priory community. The recipient is selected by the Dean of Students in consultation with the faculty and staff and head of upper school. This year's recipient truly loves Priory, its values, traditions, and most of all, its people. She has shared this adoration through her distinguished leadership over the years, which has been impressive and of high quality. Imbued with goodwill and unwavering determination, she has dedicated her high school years to her peers, serving as a class representative from 7th grade to 11th grade, and as ASB president her senior year. In her years at Priory, she's participated in 25 theater productions and has been an unforgettable ambassador of kindness, humility, and positivity. Woodside Priory is a better place because of this year's Dean of Students Award recipient, Kayla Bui Matsuoka. The Academic Dean Award is determined by the Academic Dean after consultation with the faculty and is awarded to a member of the graduating class who has manifested a joy of learning and demonstrated academic excellence. This year's recipient has impressed us not just with her tremendous academic achievements over the past 4 years, but also with her consistent musical gifts to the Priory community through concerts and chapel reflection songs. Her approach to academics far exceeds the basic expectations of turning in assignments and passing exams. For this year's recipient, the learning and her own intellectual enrichment is clearly a superior end than simply making a grade. Priory faculty call her inquisitive, serious, precise, nuanced, and intensely introspective, all qualities that all but ensure her continued academic success in her future studies. Her mind is impressive, and her ability to draw connections between distinct academic disciplines is top-notch. She is a happy conversing about philosophy as about Shakespeare or geopolitics. All mental challenges only seem to add to her desire to learn more. Our classrooms are richer for having had her in them. She truly is an exemplar of all that is excellent about the Priory academic community. Congratulations, Cadence Liu, this year's recipient of the Academic Dean Award. The St. Elizabeth Award was established to recognize the member of the graduating class who has consistently shown extraordinary commitment to service in our local or global community. This year's recipient completed over 600 hours of service during their time at Priory at 20 different organizations. They partner with the thriving Priory Book Club to support young members of our wider community at Generations United in Redwood City. It is clear that this student has a commitment to accompanying young people through tutoring and the arts. In addition, they offer their time with the Palo Alto Chinese School, Yucheng International School of Silicon Valley, Peninsula Bridge Summer Program, and most regularly, Leaders and Readers. On top of all this, they work to care for our planet through grassroots ecology and various cleanups. And they still made time to support the Priory community by serving at open houses, being regularly involved with the Daraja Club, and tutoring our younger students. We are proud to present this year's St. Elizabeth Award of Service to Jackie Shuang. The St. Martin Award was established to recognize a student who creates space and builds bridges across lines of difference, lifting up the voices of others and celebrates individuality in themselves and in peers. The winner of the St. Martin Award practices and invites hospitality, demonstrates a willingness to make oneself uncomfortable to ensure others' inclusion. The inaugural winner of the St. Martin Award embodies servant leadership, extends dignity toward others, and consistently aims to do the right thing for others, even when no one is looking. This student exemplifies Priory's values of integrity and spirituality. He possesses a strong moral compass and moves easily between and within languages, people, and cultures. In his 7 years at Priory, this student has been a force of goodness, expanding and deepening the integrity of our Priory community. The St. Martin Award goes to Jonathan James Lehman. A few more awards. Okay, bear with me. We're almost there. The Head of Upper School Award was established to recognize those members of the graduating class who have consistently made a significant contribution to the school and community. The award is presented upon the recommendation of the faculty and the head of upper school. There are many ways, both loud and quiet, that students demonstrate their leadership at Priory. Some lead from the front lines, while others lead quietly by example, modeling in their deeds and their behavior the deepest values of humility and community focus that underline the Benedictine education we offer at the Priory. This student does both, modeling quiet discipline and commitment in the classroom, cheering on his fellow Panthers from the sideline of a sporting event or during a Model UN competition, or boldly leading our football team as its team captain and quarterback. This year's recipient, by the estimation of many faculty members, has some of the highest leadership potential of any student on campus and has used his position and stature on campus to support his peers in innumerable ways. He is an ever-present force on campus whose presence and exemplary habits will be sorely missed next year. In addition, he is a class act and will serve as a great ambassador for the Priory when he goes off to college next fall. Congratulations, Hudson Carnes, for this Head of School Award. The St. Benedict Award is the most prestigious award given at Priory. It is presented to a member of the graduating class who in the opinion of the senior class and the faculty, best personifies the ideals presented in the rules of St. Benedict. These ideals can be summarized as respect for self, respect for others, and respect and appreciation for one's environment, as evidenced by modeling the 5 Benedictine values of spirituality, hospitality, integrity, individuality, and community. This year's recipient embodies the true spirit of this award. It is honestly hard to imagine next year at the Priory without this student on campus. In a place where all are welcome, there has been one student who has gone above and beyond to truly meet every individual child at the Priory where they are, taking the time to make everyone feel welcome and appreciated no matter their background, talents, interest, or temperament. This student, with her trademark million-watt smile and contagious laugh, sees every learner at the Priory as a person of value and dignity. She exudes warmth, connection, compassion, and respect in every interaction she has, in and outside of the classroom. There's no student more referenced during chapel talks and assemblies for how she has made members of our community feel welcome, seen, and integrated into our school. While there will be a Tama-sized hole in the Priory community when she's off at college next year, we know that the seeds that she has planted in her 4 years on campus will continue to bear fruit. The example she has set will live in the actions and hearts of all those she has mentored along the way. We are all richer in spirit, personal integrity, scholarship, and community for having met Temilola Shabomihin. Seniors, it is now the time we have all been waiting for. Would the first row of graduates please rise? Mr. Ruff, as the head of the upper school, it is my pleasure to present to you the candidates of the class of 2024 who have completed the course of study prescribed for graduation and have thus earned the right to a Woodside Priory diploma. Abraham Avelar. Christian Ford Avery. Stella Rose Axe. Mara Jane Bentug. Catherine Elizabeth Carlton Reidenauer. Valeria Chavez Franco. Nathan Shikai Chen. Sophia Chen. Arsene George Daniel Sherrier. Aiden Chu. Jacqueline Claire Schwang. When we practiced this, they actually did sit down and stand up at the right time. That was my fault. Jordan Ceramelli. Noah Fox Dawson. William Robert Day. Evelyn Diarte Edwards. Ozi Adora Acuna Elele. Katie Page Elfishawi. Arlet Fajardo Sepúlveda. Carmela Fontes. Annabelle Fu. Elliot Richard Ganley. Vivian Wenshengao. Ta-da! Arissa Caroline Kiwis Garcia. Matthew Genet. Sean Bjorn Genet. Juan Diego González Mejía. Marie Goodson. Celine Helena Graham. Mikatrine Heinen. Katarina Burnett Heiberg. George Wiley Holmes. Zofia Horbat. Charles Huang. JC Yuqian Huang. Eris Rungeldier Hughes. It's the excitement. John Francis Herbud. Hudson Everett Carnes. Eve Kavna. Matthew Kaveri. Natalia Kulasaria. Kenai Patrick Lavage. Sungjun Matthew Lee. Jonathan James Lehman. Cadence Xinyuing Liu. Ana Giselle Lopez. Hazel Lynn. Jackie Mao. Kayla Bui Matsuoka. Everett Miller. Nolan Murphy. Audrey Palesny. Nina Marie Pasquezi. Cyrus Anil Patel. Deanna Perloff. Jackson Scott. Temilola Lisa Shabomehi. Cole Spencer. Andrew Stenger. Yuta Tokuse. Ellen Michelle Turk. Rohan Umbarker. Dia Vasudevan. Aiden Vong. Sebastian Venegas. Tina Xie. Andrew Christopher Yuan. Tian Yun Daniel Zhang. Ella Zhao. Will the class of 2024 please stand? You may now move your tassels from right to left. I proudly present to you the Priory School graduates of the class of 2024. Please be seated. Wow. Congratulations, graduates. Before I invite Father Martin to come forward for the benediction, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to those who made today possible. Special thanks to our faculty and staff, school leadership, Mr. Patrick Ruff, our beloved monks, and TQM. Thank you to the graduation committee members for all of the behind-the-scenes work and for your collaboration in planning this day for our students and their loved ones. I want to especially recognize the senior class parents who have been working tirelessly to prepare special culminating events for our graduates. So let's give them a big round of applause. Class of 2024, I invite you to join me in acknowledging your parents, guardians, mentors, and family members who are here today to show you their love and support. Take a moment to make eye contact, wave, smile, and show them your appreciation. Take it all in. Big smiles. All right. And now to our graduates. I am extremely proud and honored that our paths have crossed. Although 3 years was not nearly enough time to get to know you or to be with you, during my time at Priory, I've witnessed your personal, social, emotional, and academic growth. The way you have described your experiences and relationships at Priory demonstrates the essence of the community we strive to be. I hear you. I truly hear you when you say your class is filled with kindness, with support for one another, with a multitude of gifts and talents, with resilience after experiencing really difficult times, and with the desire to leave a place better than you found it. I can see how you have come together as a class and how you have learned to embrace everyone's individuality. When you get to the next chapter in your lives, you will realize what is truly special about Priory, and hopefully you will then slowly begin to replicate bits and pieces of the hospitality, community, and values you have experienced here into your new communities. You've heard many important and valuable messages the last few days, including this morning. I want to invite you to take a nice deep breath in, practice the pause, and continue to listen with the ear of your heart. So, I want to leave you with these parting words. As you close this exciting chapter in your lives, continue to find the strength and will to face your fears so that they do not hinder you from what you can accomplish. Continue to focus on the life lessons you have already learned, the failures, the accomplishments, the disappointments, the breakups, and allow these lessons to serve as a reminder when making new decisions or facing new experiences. Do not allow perfect be the enemy of good. I'm going to say that one more time. Do not allow perfect be the enemy of good. Sometimes good is more than enough as you continue to find balance in your lives. Remember that no one will love you and know you better than your family, your parents and caregivers. Although at times it might not feel like it, as parents, we are simply trying to do our best. At times, we might project our own fears, insecurities, dreams, and hopes onto you. We tend to forget that as you grow older, you have your own way of seeing and doing things. Yet in our minds and hearts, you will always be our little ones. Class of 2024, the world awaits your gifts and talents. Do not waste them. May you continue to blossom into the person you are meant to be. Congratulations. I now invite all of us to please stand for the benediction, which will be pronounced by Father Martin.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we ask your blessings upon the class of 2024 and upon all those who have supported them during their high school journey. May these graduates be blessed with the wisdom and courage to carry on the Benedictine values of community, individuality, hospitality, integrity, and spirituality to a world sorely in need of their gifts. May they find joy in helping others, especially those who are needy, and may the bonds of love and friendship forged in this place grow stronger as the years go on. Let them always be aware that you are their companion throughout their lives. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Saint Benedict and Saint Scholastica, pray for us.
You are also invited to a small reception to our right.
How are you?
Come on, baby.
Marie, hopefully I see you running around.
Great, Marie. We'll see you in the neighborhood.
Proud of you, brother. Good job. Yeah.
Come on, Sean. Congratulations.
Good job. Good job. Congratulations. Now we gotta make sure we get the ones going this way. Yeah, that's tough.
Congratulations from some of the apocalypse all the way to head. Congratulations, Miss Katie. Well done.
Make sure you come visit, right? Congrats to you.
Missed you so much. So proud of you.
Come back. Congratulations. Congratulations.